Okay, done. Breakfast was excellent. We did English muffins with strawberry jelly and eggs and sausage. Yummy. Okay, so we are in the garage area, and I'm going to start here because that's where the madness begins. This is like the edge of our property. There's some, I think they're honeysuckles. I don't know, but they are out of control. And there's some sort of vine that's really taken control of everything. And then we've got Lily of the Valley, which they smell amazing, but they are so tightly packed in here. It's just, some of them need to go. We got these really pretty bluish purple, I don't know, things happening. I think this is a, let me see if I can zoom in. Yep, a geranium. And then we've got some columbine here. And then I believe this is a different kind of geranium. It is the French crowsbill, I think. It's got really pretty little bright flowers on it, but it is everywhere. It is everywhere. This is the other side of the driveway, and it is just a mess. There's like this, I want to say it's like a baby rose. I don't know. Comment below if you know what that is. It's really cute, really pretty, totally getting suffocated. I think that's the other end of it, just gnawed off, chopped off, dead. Some little sapling there, more of that purple stuff. Got a ton of ground cover. These little things are really cute and they pop up, and usually there is a flower underneath. So yeah, that one's not open yet, but pretty spiral ferns. Hostas that are like suffocating. I don't know, it's just so tight. These pretty ostrich ferns, they're amazing. I love them, but this is just like not the space for them to flourish. And then a cute little pitcher plant. There's a lot of work to do over here. We've got these hedge bushes that are just out of control. We trimmed them back a lot. They were really, really big. They've already got a lot of new growth on them. Just, you know, stuff everywhere. Everywhere. It's really out of control. Got a maple that we're trying to save, and then we bought a peach tree. And then in here, we've got some of our starts in there. So now we're coming to the front of the house. Another big stump, more like of this hedge bush. I really don't know what it's called. We couldn't get the top. It's high up there. You got more, I think it's French cranesbill. I really do, but correct me if I'm wrong. But it's just everywhere. See, it's like everywhere. Oh, those ones died. Sad. So now we're gonna get into the back of the house. Got tons of bleeding hearts. These massive trees that are on the property line, they need to be shaped up. More cranesbill, another cute little tree here. This is the part of the house that I've started on. So the cranesbill, let me see if I can get a better angle. Okay, that's better. So the cranesbill was all in this area here. So let's see here, all of that was cranesbill, all of that, and then all of this part right here. So I pulled that out. Just seeded that yesterday, making it grass. Divided one of the hostas and put it in the front here. Brought up some columbine from the garden, some sedum. There's some purple sedum. I think that's what it is. We moved that bush, which was here, and there was a huge dead bush there, so we pulled it out. More sedum that I transplanted, and then peonies that I transplanted that already have blooms on them, so they might not make it this year, and they probably won't flower for the next couple of years, but I think they'll do really well there in the future. Okay, so this is the side of the garage. Look at that cool ladder. My mother-in-law wants it to do something with it, so we're gonna keep it. It was in the garage. It's probably 50, 70 years old, but it's sturdy and it works, so not that we would use this. Wouldn't climb it, but it's pretty cool. So we have pulled out 4 massive trash bins of the cranesbill. I left that little section, but otherwise it had overgrown all onto the concrete, both sides, every direction, all along here. So I've just left some of the original plants. It's a really pretty variegated hosta, white bleeding heart. I think those are lilies. This is actually a really cool plant, and it has like little purple, you see them? Little purple flowers that come at the bottom. Cute little ground cover, so I saved some of that. But what my plan is for this is to put in cosmos and some annuals just to give it some color. So this is a cute little area. So this is like a cement something. I don't know what I'm going to put in here, but it's not going to be whatever's in here. Our plan for here is to make a little bit of a path and kind of trim up some of these trees as well, and then put a little bit more color in there. I've got more boxwood. It's doing really well, but it just doesn't need to look like so crazy. And then some of these just need to be tightened up. Like, it's pretty to have the hostas and whatnot around the tree, and it's a really pretty tree. But it doesn't need to be like, that's about 10 feet. This is all from that little shed, that pile of wood. It was all underneath a bunch of dirt on the ground, so John's taking that out piece by piece and leveling it out and trying to save that cute little tool shed. Got our cute little tree here. Oh my gosh, it's the cutest thing. It's like a Whoville tree. There's more ferns back there, that boxwood, more daffodils. Daffodils everywhere. They just stopped blooming about 2 weeks ago. So John trimmed up this tree. The plan is to put like a pergola and a fire pit here. And we got a lot of cleanup to do. There's lamb's ear that's just out of control. This tree probably, or bush, isn't gonna make it. There's like this pretty blue star plant. So many cool things. They're just totally wild right now. Baptisia. I'm excited for that. It's super pretty. And once the flowers die and the pods fall off, it's got really green foliage. It's got all sorts of dead nettle. Not sure what this tree is. We're gonna keep this one, take this guy out because I don't know, he's not doing so well. And his friend has already come out, so we already took one out. Okay, so now I'm walking down to the big garden. We've shrunk it in size and it is still massive. So let's check it out. So here is where the garden starts. It is massive. Well, there's all sorts of stuff in here. Grasses, daffodils. Oh gosh. Daisies. Not even sure what those are. Lamb's ear. All types of different hostas, phlox. There's a really pretty columbine right there. Lilies, daylilies, peonies. What did I say about the cranesbill? Blah. We've got this clematis that will probably move because we have to move this trellis because we opened up the entryway to the garden so that the riding lawnmower can fit. We didn't buy a rider specifically for this property. We had a larger property before, and so why not? A big old bush over there. So this is where we've ended the garden. It was originally that fence, and the reason why is because most of what's in here is not planted. So it just didn't make sense. Looks like she tried to do some rows, but what I'm finding is that there is a lot of black tarp, and she liked to open bags and just plant into them. So there is plastic everywhere. So my neighbor just like came out of the woodworks. He probably thinks I'm a crazy lady just like looking at the phone talking to myself. But anyways, we plan to do a lot of work to the property. So we're on 0.8 acres. We're in town. There's a bike path right here that goes to town, goes to the neighboring towns, and connects up with the Ice Age Trail, which I think is a national trail. Anyways, the woman who owned the house before us was a horticulture major, so she was like really into all of the plants. Unfortunately, in this case, like more is not more, it's just more work. It just isn't tidy. It needs to be cleaned up. The plants need to be separated. She was like older, and I know the last couple of years she hadn't tended, I think, to the property at all. My understanding was she was just living elsewhere and was paying for somebody to mow it and make sure that the house was not on fire. But other than that, I think the property just went wild and was left to do its own thing. So we have seeds of, I have no idea what, all over the property. There's just seedlings and saplings and all little beings all over. I'll let you know what our plans are, and we can kind of just watch the progress over the spring and the summer, and then probably be transplanting a lot of tubers in the fall, kind of just to, like I said, tidy things up. There is creeping, I think it's creeping Charlie everywhere. Our lawn is purple, and there's dandelions everywhere, and not that we can do much with that, but at least the spaces that have flowers, we can hopefully put a dent in and make them look good. A lot of the really pretty plants are actually being choked out by weeds or other perennials that are just doing it better. So hopefully the plants will thrive next spring and years to come once we kind of get those things separated. I did buy some 4-inch pots online, just plastic ones, so we might do a pop-up plant sale. I don't know, we'll see. I hate to just throw things away, but it's getting to that point where it's so tight that flowers aren't even blooming. We decided to put the width of the lawnmower, just a little walking path in the center, and then when lumber isn't $4 million, hopefully we'll put a border around each of these sections and maybe build it up tall enough where you could like sit or put like a bench. And then I would love to like do an arching trellis, like 1, 2, 3 at the end. So that's the plan for that, but we'll see. That's where we haul all of our tree limbs and whatnot, and then we just let them decompose. We don't have a wood chipper, and they would take forever to decompose in the compost, so we've made a spot back there. This is all of our property as well. Tons of those beautiful ostrich ferns. I am so excited for them. The nest. Cool. Okay, so this row will probably also stay. It just needs to be picked through. There are probably 25, 30 different varieties of lilies in here. They're really beautiful and it's really fun. They also need to be divided, but I do not even know where we would put the divisions. I mean, we would have to either sell them, give them away, or junk them because there's just too many. This section is all going to be transplanted. It's pretty small. There's some irises here, and they usually transplant pretty well. And then some lupin. There is some baptisia here. I'm not sure, like if these, see if I get out of the light. Not sure if these fuzzy things are anything. They might be phlox, or they might be, oh, what's the one that looks like phlox? I can't remember, but anyways, I don't know. They're everywhere, so I don't feel too bad about taking them out. I'm not sure what this little guy is, but he sure is pretty. Probably gonna move the tree, but keep it. There's some lupin in there. Lupine, how do you say it? I don't know. We're gonna take that maple out and get that out on the property somewhere, or at least in a 5-gallon bucket till we decide what we want to do with it. And then this section here, so we're gonna tighten it up and bring it closer to the fence, which will come out eventually, because most of it is that creeping thyme or creeping Charlie, whatever the heck it is. I'm gonna maybe pare down the rhubarb that's happening, because no one needs 18,000 plants of rhubarb. And then a lot of this space in here is just dead space. There's violets, and that's cute, but we don't need a garden of violets. So I think if we pared this down, the boys want to put a go-kart track right there. So if we pare this down, like from there to like there, and just move everything back a little bit, we'll keep this section and it'll be a cute little, I don't know, place to sit. But that's it. That's the whole property. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. I'm holding the baby, so we got that compost up the hill, our house, and then here, and then all down here, and back to that corner of trees. So there you go. I'm gonna get this baby out of the sun.